It's your boy Mo Green.
It's your boy Fleet Jones in the building.
Thank you for tuning in to Straight Up Talk. Today's topic is
Does love expire? You can just look around your house right now. In your fridge, things die, things get old, things are just not what it once was. That's kind of where brought this topic up. Does it expire? And for the longest, just like any other thing, I believe for the longest that it did have a shelf life, that it does have a shelf life. But before we really get into that, like, what is love for you? What does love mean to you?
in my perspective, love mean to me is unconditional care for. Love means the sacrificial point that you are willing to go beyond for someone else. Love is where your soul have been cut in a slice of pie and you've given it to that person. You're willing to give a piece of your heart, your soul to another person. That's what love means to me. I mean, that's how I see love. Um, and,
So,
and go ahead.
so when you say like cut your slice of your pie, your heart, you've loved more than one person. So do they
Of course.
just each get a portion of that? When do you get that back?
The thing is when you love, you don't get it back. I believe when you love someone, man, you love them forever, even though you might. I think love and hate fall hand in hand sometimes. It's a
Hmm.
catch 22, depending on the individual, the factors of life, on how you began, how you end. All of these are major factors on um, the outcome. But do love expire? I don't believe that love expire, but being in love expire.
Okay. So
Because be Go ahead.
it's it's kind of like that transition period because it's like a science. So we know because for the longest I was like, man, that shit expires and it's a
Mm.
choice. But now I'm like, knowing science, and that's still kind of a part of a science, nothing is created nor destroyed. So love can't expire or it can't be destroyed. And you just brought something up. So it transforms
I
or
believe I
it,
agree with you. It does transform us because you got to look at love as being energy. Energy doesn't die. It just transform into a different matter.
mm-hmm. Because when you think of like the like from water to ice to vapor to the clouds, I don't even know all the stages. It's kind of that same form, but it just changes. The atoms become less dense, then more dense. So, and putting that in retrospect with love, like how can we just using that example of like how the water ice, how can we say something for love? Like what can that transform into? Does that what is hate one of them? Is it lust one? Like what does that correlate or transform into?
I, I really believe that we can't just put it in a box. Love can transform into all different types of things depending on the individual. Like I said, there's you have that family member that you love dearly.
Hmm.
They might have screwed you over on some dollars, a deal, or another situation. You still love them, but that love can also transfer into I love you from afar. I don't hate you, but I dislike you.
Hmm.
Uh, some people, there's been relationships where, hey, you had a great relationship with a woman or a woman versus man, however it might go, and it just didn't work out. Something happened. And to the point where maybe your trust was broken, however it might have happened, but you truly hate that person.
Mm-hmm.
But hate, you got to realize something. When you hate a person so passionately, that is a almost a wicked way of love. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you really didn't love that person, you wouldn't care so much. So,
It's like
like I
Chris Brown and Rihanna, right?
yeah, I don't doubt that Chris Brown don't love Rihanna. I think he still love Rihanna. I think Rihanna still love Chris Brown. Carucci, I think Carucci still love Chris Brown. I think Chris Brown still love Carucci. I think that you can't just and love like back to your first question with
Mm-hmm.
love. Can you love more than one person? This is true. It's
Mm-hmm.
fact. You see it. Your thoughts on that? I want to know your thoughts. Can you love multiple?
Oh yes, definitely. You can definitely love as many people as you want, but now it goes to the certain degrees of that love. Like you said, love and hate, same thing, different perspective. Like hot and cold, still tempers. Hot may be 100, cold may be 0. So if you're looking at that, like love is 100, hate is 0, then yes, there's certain degrees that you can love certain people. Um, and another thing that you know you mentioned was just the frequency, that energy. So if it's an energy and it's constantly flowing, do you think people nowadays move with that flow or they move against that flow, that energy flow?
Depending on their intentions are at. Like I said, there's so many factors, so many different individuals, so many different dynamic type of relationships where you know that's up in the air. That's something that is um, by situation based on situations. You know what I'm saying? That's an
Mm-hmm.
open question. That's very, vague. It's not no bullet point. One straight answer for that one. You know, but
So
yeah, man.
what determines love though? Like how do you know that someone loves you?
I really believe when someone loves you through their actions. See, because I believe that people and us as humans can say anything, but to really act out on that and be consistent. So let's just say you're in a relationship with a woman and she goes ahead and she shows unconditional love for you. She goes out and she shows it by doing small and big things. And
Mm-hmm.
it's consistent. It's not just for a second to gain your trust, but standing the width of time.
Okay.
That's when you know someone loves you.
So what if she stopped doing those things? Does she just not love you anymore?
Depending on what the situation is and what caused it, I don't believe that she could stop loving you, but she can fall out of love with you. And her
Okay.
actions by showing that she's not in love with you anymore, that shows. So, I mean, but I don't believe that when you really, truly, genuinely love somebody, you don't stop loving them.
Okay.
Or what might happen.
So can you make, like this goes back, can you make someone love you or fall in love with you? Or can someone make you fall in love
I
with them?
mm, my thoughts on that is that it depends on the person's interest. If their interest is vested in you, if they have a high interest in you, you really don't have to try. You being yourself will automatically gravitate. You know what I'm saying? It's like a magnet. It would
Mm-hmm.
pull that person to you with
Mm-hmm.
effortless work, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that when you try, that's when I believe that it's non genuine.
Mm-hmm. That's that, I call that the abstract love. when it's
Whoa.
when it's just the
Don't get deep. Don't get deep on it, but go ahead.
Man, oh, you will. Yeah, you brought up the soul ties and energies, and back to the does love, expire? I have to say no, because we're on this human plane, and love is not from this plane, so it can't expire. It's going to outlive the human body because it's energy. So when it's just like it's beyond what we can think of. That's why it comes in just so many different forms, so many different degrees. So when it comes to can someone make you fall in love with them? No, no, because it's still is your choice. Because there's nothing that the person that you love can do to make them love you or intense it. It's all about you. You choose to love them. You choose how much to love them. It's like your agreement
No,
with
I agree
yourself.
with you. I agree with what you're saying when it comes to a relationship aspect. But even let's just say this is a great example of non-relationship and how you love someone. There have been family members that we have lost, and I'm pretty sure everybody can account to,
Hmm.
and that love doesn't stop for that person, even
Hmm.
though they're not here physically. Like you said, the energy, the imprint. See, I believe that we all put an imprint, you know, out there, and we do put imprints upon people that we connect with, and
Hmm.
those imprints can't be rubbed off. It's more of a celestial, spiritual type of thing, you know.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
that's just my thoughts, though, Fleet. That's my thoughts.
Love your kids more than you love your wife.
Mm,
Or yeah, let's just stick at that.
mm. I believe that those are two different types of love. Because
But it's
with your
still
kid,
love.
no, it's still love. That's right there is the common denominator.
Hmm.
Is love. The different types of love is what separates them. Still
Okay.
under the family umbrella of love. Love for my kids are the same sacrificial love type of thing that I was talking about. Um, Literally, man, I lay down for my babies, but with my wife is more of intimate. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Intimate connection. So our love is different, but I do share that same type of potential love that I share with my kids with her. You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So she kind of get double, but do I love one more than the other? No.
Now, if someone does, is that right? Is that wrong? If someone, you know what? I love this son more than I love this son. Is that right? Is that wrong? Or is that what they just choose to do?
I believe that well, society has made it to the point where we have to, oh, we love everybody the same. We love everybody the same. That right there is a complete lie, is because we're not all made the same. We're
Hmm.
not all the same individuals. Um, love more. No, you might take a liking to one more than the other, but love more, I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
All right, because I was looking into this research. It says this Pew research they did in 2010. It says 6 out of 10 people want to get married. Now, do you think they just want to be married, or is that 6 out of 10 looking to find love?
I believe that you don't find love in marriage. I believe you find love before marriage.
Mm.
See, being wanting to be married and being married is something totally different. That's a whole nother category. And I think we'll get into one of those topics later on in the future. But to stay on point, um, I believe we as humans we're confused. Um, Well, I know as far as when it comes down to women, I believe that a lot of women are the ideal, the idea of
Hmm.
being married, the look, the finances, all the other things instead of the main factor of love is left out. And I believe that that's why we have such a high divorce rate, is because marrying and so called loving for the wrong intentions.
Hmm. So, and speaking of idea, what if love was just an idea and nobody really loved? Because there's some men, women that never find anyone. Is it? And like I said, and mostly I think is upon someone's self whether they choose to go out and love. But for those that don't find anyone, is love just that idea?
And that's a question for us all to ask.
Hmm.
That's a question for us all to ask. Ooh,
It's, it's, it's like, what if it was just the idea? Like they
mm,
say, fake news is fake love, which, yeah, it is fake love. People do things and act like they love. But what if neither of us really felt the highest extent or the highest degree of that love?
that's almost like a drug dealer or a drug addict chasing the drug, the ghost.
Hmm.
we're 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 searching
Chasing that
we're
first high, yeah.
searching for that first high, and trying to feel that within individuals. As we all know, eh, humans we're so imperfect. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So to try to find love to gratify your own emotional feelings, that's a lost cause. That's a bad investment, bro.
So you mentioned something very interesting. So that's searching. So do you think women or men, but let's just stick to women for now, look for that first initial love, that feeling that they felt? Do you think they look for that? It's like, let's go through the stages from, okay, had the young love, boom, it got hit hard to them, they enjoyed it. Now they're going through life searching for that. From that period, from the when the women are searching or the men searching to the point where they get married or they finally say, you know what, I'm going to settle down with this person. Do you think that first initial hit and everything in between kind of affects their past life when they truly want to settle down?
As as a collective, I
Mm-hmm.
think as a collective of all trials, tribulations, experience, and events, I believe, like I said, for all every individual is different in how it comes evolved, but I believe everyone is chasing that love. Especially,
Mm-hmm.
let's just speak on the women. Let's keep it on the women.
Mm-hmm.
A woman had her father always in her life. Her father, she
Mm-hmm.
saw her father love her mother tremendously. She's
Mm-hmm.
seen this. She's somewhat felt that energy. She's going to desire that for herself.
Okay.
So that woman is going to be looking for or to mimic or to try to capture that ideal same feeling that she saw her mother and father do. Let's just say a woman that never had a father,
Mm-hmm.
but she's seen her mom have multiple boyfriends, and she's
Mm-hmm.
seen the struggle of her mom chase men to, let's just say, to capture that feeling. Now
Mm-hmm.
this little girl don't know how that feeling is, though. You see what I'm saying? So she's chasing an idea of what she see on TV, what her friends, her peers have, her cousins, aunties, multiple situations. So it's a chase. Now, can they experience it? I'm very sure everybody can experience it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something that we see that we connect with and we want to mimic. and capture that same feel
Hmm.
from peers or family or other. But let me hold up 1 second. When it come down to men, I think our the way we want to love is something different.
Yeah.
And I'll explain that right now, and I'll do it briefly. When a man is looking, let's just say, for love, we consider love in a different way, to the form of we want that motherly love. You know how your mother give you that
Hmm.
unconditional love, or your big mama gave you that
Yep.
unconditional love. And what we try to do is we try to find that same type of unconditional love in a partner. And I think that's where we mess up at. We
Mm.
mess up in that is because you'll never get that type of love. You're chasing a ghost. You're chasing that first high of that hit. You will never find that. That type of love is a one of a kind, and it was in a different category, and we can't separate that.
Well, I get to disagree. You say never. Now, if that love is an energy, you can still tap into that energy at a different point of your life, though, correct?
It's
If
possible.
if we
It's
talking just like
possible.
we
It's
already
possible.
established that love was energy,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we can't tap back into that.
It's possible. But is it a high likeliness that we get to that again? I can doubt that.
So, can love be traumatic though, traumatizing when you don't get it or when it doesn't go your way? You know, usually, when you get you have all these things going into your head, all these plans, and then boom, it's not like that. You know, Cupid was wrong. So, do you think that
I,
can damage the rest of the experiences of love?
it can only experience it if you expire.
Hmm.
You got to realize time.
Okay.
I believe if you still have time, you're still living, you're still active and out there, then you have time. You can do it. It only ends when you expire, when you go on to the next life.
Hmm. So, environment plays a good factor when it comes to love, just like you mentioned, growing up with the father, then growing up without the father, or growing up without the mother. So, how can people be in that right environment to open up to receive that energy of love?
I feel by truly knowing yourself. And a lot of people don't take the time to know themselves, to appreciate and be happy within you,
Hmm. Yeah,
to
because if you're
be,
happy within yourself,
yeah,
because for me, you choose to love that person. Ain't nothing that they can do to assist. It is your choice. You brought them around. You brought them in your comfort zone, whether you manifested that person or that those soul ties that you mentioned. The universe just said, hey, y'all go be here, this spot, this location. Now you're gonna groove together. Um, so, but yeah, man, this was a amazing topic. We definitely want to know what you all think. You can leave comments whether you feel that love expires or if you feel that someone can make you fall in love. And I want to hear examples. Don't you want to hear? I want to hear some
I
examples of.
definitely want to hear examples. I want to hear examples and even life experiences that can relate to this topic. So feel free
Mhm.
to join in. Feel free to leave those comments, and we will definitely revisit this topic in the near future.
I would like to thank you all for tuning in. And as I say in closing, since the sky's the limit, we're going to continue to go straight up.